The third round of the South African Rally Championship exclusively on Supersport. It was a special occasion for one of the premier motor events on the South African motorsport. Because of its dual national and African continent championship status, classes for the Castrol Rally conform to international and South African regulations. Cars were classified in 3 major categories, with 3 Class A cars, including 1 Formula 2 entry, Group N with 8 entries, and Group X, which included all South African classes and off-road vehicles. Included in the Group S entries was 11-time South African champion Castrol van der Merwe.
Oh, I haven't rallied for 3 years, so I hope it's like riding a bike.
A total rebuild. You obviously haven't had any chance for testing. What do you sort of think of your prospects and chances?
Very good indeed, because while the truck was at a panel beating, Skill had taken a gearbox and did a lot of gear racer chasing. So I've got a better first and second gear now. Tyre-wise, we're sticking to the bigger tyres because I think at the end of the day will be a benefit to us. Mechanical, it's beautiful, sounds perfect, we haven't got a problem.
Plenty of work ahead for Springboks Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leek in the Castrol Toyota Hilux and the trip down memory lane. For Castrol van der Merwe and Frans Boshoff, a combined total of 19... Also up into the top 10 were Springboks Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leek in the Castrol Toyota Hilux. The pair were running at the head of the Video Sport Pioneer Plastics Off-Road Challenge, which formed part of an event within an event on the Castrol. Coetzee and Leek won the inaugural Off-Road Challenge on last year's Castrol, as well as picking up a top 10 finish. Going along at a slightly more sedate pace were Zambian drivers Stud1 Rebunch and Ermelo, the Hubik-Judd combination had dropped way down the field. Predictably enough, Jamso and Bonafide were leading the rally ahead of Koen and Hodgson. Brandon Olivier was third, with the old firm of van der Merwe and Boshoff fourth, and Faken and Fourie a superb fifth after a spirited early drive. Into a steady rhythm at the front of the Group N category. A good scrap was also developing in the Video Sport Pioneer Plastics Off-Road Challenge, where Arpi Reinicker and Robin Houghton in the Bankman Toyota Land Cruiser were locked in battle with the Castrol Toyota Hilux of Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leek. The Ford Cosworth of Graham Nichols and Ron Billiard had put in some impressive stage and rebunch at Amsterdam, and the crossing into Swaziland, the unpredictable weather conditions continued. As darkness fell and the spotlights came out, the weather conditions compounded what were already tricky conditions, with mist also a factor. Night special stages are notorious for sorting out the men from the boys, and for many crews it was time to make a tactical decision.
I don't know so much about a waiting game. I believe you've still got to keep a pace up. Because you play a waiting game, other people are going to catch and pass you, and then you're doing the chasing. So rather just hold a certain pace. We've agreed on a percentage pace, and that's what we're going to run at. And we'll see what happens tomorrow afternoon.
Some crews, of course, are happier in the dark than others.
I like the night driving. Night driving is...
At the Amsterdam regroup, Koen and Hodgson had a comfortable lead over Brandt and Olivier. Behind them, van der Merwe and Boshoff were slotted into third, with Faken and Fourie fourth and Ball and Duncan fifth. After a tough time of it, at the overnight stop, Koen and Hodgson were firmly entrenched in the lead. A late problem the previous night dropped van der Merwe and Boshoff to third behind the Brandt-Olivier combination. A ding-dong battle was also going on at the head of the Video Sport Pioneer Plastics Off-Road Challenge. Among the spectators at the first special stage of the second day was Vita Bonafide, who was hiding his disappointment behind a broad servicing was allowed, and the team total car was rapidly dropping down the pecking order. There was also a great deal of interest now in the battle going on in the Video Sport Pioneer Plastics Off-Road Challenge between Arpi Reinicker and Robin Houghton in the Bankman Toyota Land Cruiser, and Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leek in the Castrol Toyota Hilux. Both crews were in the top 10, with Coetzee and Leek starting to rapidly catch the Land Cruiser. The team total golf of Natalian Tony Ball and Brian Factory Davies was still running strongly. Sunny Aslam and Abdul Sidi were lying second in the Group N category, but were being chased by off-road crew Colin Frankenberg and Tony Yo in 4.6 Range Rover, who were enjoying themselves hugely. After a good run, special stage 19 saw the end of the golf. The battle of the Toyotas was still in full swing in the Video Sport Pioneer Plastics Off-Road Challenge. R.P. Reinecker and Robin Houghton, whose father Roger also competed in the first Castrol Rally, were holding a tenuous lead in the Bankman Toyota Land Cruiser. Hergen second and Neil Ferree were still on a charge in the Team Total Toyota Conquest, with the Kingsway Daewoo, Sammy Aslin and Alp that had completed more than 50 national championship events. Spotty and Caroline Swan were having a good dice with Cliffy Barker and Malcolm Jabir in the 4-6 Land Rover Defender.
So far it's been a rally of water and fan belts and about 4 stages, just keeping it cool and just trying to get through the stages, not to lose time. We've now put some water in. We're using the medics to give us some water. And the car's still going all right. We just want to keep it together to the end.
We had a bit of hassles yesterday, but today we're going quite nicely. We obviously won't make up time on Arpie and Cassie, but I think we've caught Colin now. So I think we're lying third in the Video Sport Challenge.
What were the problems you had yesterday?
Well, we caught that big storm in stage 4 and lost 5 minutes, and then our car cut out in one of the night stages, and we spent about 11, 12 minutes extra in the stage, plus got a bit of lateness.
The Castrol Rally fact file. Ford has won the Castrol.
Put it off into the trees in a split second.
Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leek led the battle of the off-roaders, but had run into a problem.
Cassie, you lost a bit of time there.
Yes, we blown the intercooler. There's a bursting, so all the pressure of the turbo coming loose, and it's a pity. But Gila going to fix it now, so all the boost will be back to normal.
Behind the leading Korean cars, Brandon Olivier was third, with Mitrovic and Burrows fourth, and Ball and Duncan fifth. The Coetzee, Leek and Reinecker Houghton crews were sixth and seventh, with Piazza Musso Harding slipping back to eighth after starting the day in fifth spot. The rebunch provided crews and rally followers with a welcome respite from the rigours of championship rallying. All 5 factory-entered Daewoos were still going strong in an impressive performance. Time was running out for Cliffy Barker and Malcolm Jabir in the 4-6 Land Rover. The pair were running out of brakes, and stopping around 2 tons of Land Rover was starting to get a little hairy. Honours for the most uncomfortable ride on the rally went to Wade Perrins and Hamilton Guthrie in the Sandmaster. With no windscreen or side window panels, it was a chilly and muddy experience, although the pair were going along without any major problems.
Terry touched problems after stage 23, I think.
Yes,
For South African cars. There was heartbreak for Ben and Isabel van der Westhuizen when they were stuck in stage 25, lost the lead in the Group N category, and dropped from 9th to 24th. The other big moves in the final night stages came from Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leek in the Castrol Toyota Hilux Bucky, and Paolo Piazza Musso and Cindy Harding in the Team Total Fiat Uno. Coetzee and Leek took full advantage of the wet conditions in the big Bucky, with Piazza Musso and Harding continuing their climb up the leaderboard. Rally leaders Kuhn and Hodgson and second place Van der Merwe and Bossel held station in the night stages. Tricky conditions at the end of the day produced the expected musical cheers behind the leading pair, with Coetzee and Leek the biggest movers on the leaderboard. The final day. Behind the Autotech car, R.P. Reinecker and Robin Houghton were building up a head of steam in the big Bankman Toyota Land Cruiser, which was showing a surprising turn of speed. Reinecker and Houghton were once again dueling with Class S16 leaders Tony Ball and Brian Duncan in the Team Total Golf GTI. Ball and Duncan had spent most of the event fighting with one or more of the off-road contingent. Hergen Flecken and Neil Ferree again had, but it was typical of their approach to rallying that they were still in attack mode. Apart from leading the Video Sport Pioneer Plastics Off-Road Challenge, Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leek now had a firm hold on 4th overall in the Castrol Toyota Hilux. Fellow off-roaders R.P. Reinecker and Robin Houghton demonstrated the worth of bulk and power when the roof got a little too tight, and Hergen Flecken and Neil Ferree kept the Toyota service crew from getting bored.
Latest member of the Roly-Poly Club?
It's one of those.
There was another stunning performance with Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leek 4th overall, and winners of the Video Sport Pioneer Plastics Off-Road Challenge in the Castrol Toyota Hilux. Tony Ball and Brian Duncan gave Team Total a win in Class S16, and Paolo Piazza Musso and Cindy Harding took Class S19 in the Team Total Fiat Uno. victory for two legends in their own lifetime. Sad disappointment for Enzo Kun and Guy Hodgson on a memorable 25th Castrol International Rally, while a Korean 1-2 for Daewoo and Hyundai added another touch of history to South Africa's premier national championship rally.